Now that we know how to create documents, also export and import them, our next step is to know how to write queries. This is one of the most important part in a database. So we need to really know how to write queries well. And the command that we're going to use is called the find command. So let's go into our mongosh shell and I'll show you how to do that. Now the database we are going to use is our first database. This is something that we have already created in our previous videos, and the collection that we are going to use is called the recipes collection. This recipes collection, we imported them from a JSON file. If you have not done so, please watch the previous videos, and I have uploaded the zip file. You can download that and then import the documents to your MongoDB database. So let's go and write our queries. Now, how do you see all the documents? That's the easiest one. We'll start from there. So db and then the collection name, which is recipes, dot find. And after find, the parenthesis, if you keep it empty, that means there are no filters at all. You want to see everything that is inside that collection. If I press enter or return, we get these results, all these results right here. Now, it's showing all the documents that we have inside that collection, maybe a lot of data. So we may not need everything. Maybe you want to see something else. So how do we do that? So let's start writing our query, customize this a little bit. Now within the find, you can have two filters. What I'm telling you is not official terms. This is how I like to explain things. And I think this is very easy to understand this way. So within find, you can have two filters. And these filters, they look like this. So two curly braces. The first filter is what I like to call a search filter. So if you are trying to find a specific document, those conditions go within the first curly braces. Whereas the second curly braces is what I call a display filter. That means after you find those documents, whatever fits your search filter, which attribute do you want to see? Do you want only certain parts of that document, or you want to see the whole document? That is what determined by the second filter. It will make a lot more sense when I maybe add something. So starting off, I'll keep the search filter empty, but let's add something within the display filter. Let's say I want to see only the title of all the documents. So I still want to see all the documents, but only the title. If that is what you want to modify the display filter. And the modification is easy. So you write title, colon, which is like equals, and then 1. And that's all. That means you want to see only the title. You press enter, and we get only the title for all the documents. The ID is automatically included by MongoDB. But yeah, we got only the title. Similarly, if you want, say, the title and another field, so you can go and maybe you want to see the cook time of the recipes. We go inside that display filter, put a comma, and cook time equals 1. When you do that, you get this cook time, and so now we have title and cook time of all the documents. Now we could keep adding these like different fields there. Another way, you instead of 1, if you put 0, that means no, I don't want to see that field. When I write 0, you're gonna get everything back except those fields. Now if you take a look at the recipes, they do not have title and they do not have cook time. So it doesn't have a title, also it doesn't have cook time. Another thing that you might notice, so I'm going to go back to 1, is you do not have the cook time for this document. Why? Because if you do not have a certain attribute for a document, it will simply be not included by MongoDB. Alright, so now we know how to use display filter. What about the search filter? When you want to use search filter, you can search for specific criteria. So say we are starting off and say I want to find out the recipes that had a title of tacos. So title tacos. And again, this has to exactly match your title. So we got one recipe back which has the title of tacos, and we get only the title and cook time for that recipe. So this is how the search and display filters work. The first one is determining which recipe you want, and the second one determines what you want to know about that recipe. Next, you can add other criteria. So instead of title, maybe you want to add cook time. Now in future videos, I'll show you how to match partial title or maybe and or. So those would be a little bit more advanced queries. Now let's go to the next step. If you want to limit the output, so now I want to go back and maybe I'll keep this search filter empty, but I don't want all the recipes back. Instead, I want to maybe find only say 4 recipes out of the entire database. That's when you use the limit command. And in MongoDB, how you use them is called chaining. Chaining is done by using the dot operator or period. So you dot and write limit, and say you want the top say 3 documents or 4 documents. So limit, so dot limit and then 4. When you press enter, we get only 4 documents. You could limit it to say 2, and let's even remove the cook times. I want only the title of the top 2 documents, and that brings us the top 2 documents, and it's limited to 2. Now this was pretty random, like we had no control how MongoDB is deciding the top 2 documents. Is this based on the title? Is this ascending or is this descending? How do you determine that? That is something that you do using the sort command. So we saw how the limit function works. We'll see how the sort function works now. And you can actually add them together, limit and sort and skip, all of them together. So you can chain multiple functions together. For now, let's keep things simple. I'll remove limit and then use sort. Within sort, you can specify the criteria of how you want to sort them. So let's say I want to sort them by title. If you put 1, that means this would be ascending order. See, we get all these documents back and they have been sorted by ascending order. So starting with apple pie, A, it goes to Z. So A to Z, it was sorted A to Z because I sorted by title and ascending order. If I were to sort them by descending order, you just need to put -1. So go and put -1. And now it's sorted by Z to A. So that's ascending and descending order. Now the last function that we're going to take a look at is the skip command. And let's remove sort now. If you want to skip the first say 2 output, you can do that. So skip and then simply add 2. We get the result, but the first 2 results are skipped. And you can do the same thing for say skip 1 or 2 or 3. And the nice thing is, again, this chaining can work in conjunction with each other. So the final command that we are going to write, going to combine the limit, sort and skip all together. And we're going to use the chaining concept. So let's sort by title. So we're going to get all the recipes. We are keeping the search filter empty. We want the title and maybe set another one. We also want the description. And we want to sort them by title. We want to limit the results to 5 and we also want to skip the first result. So that's what it means. So we are trying to find all the recipes. We are sorting them by title, limiting them to 5, skipping the first one, and we want to display only the title and the description. So that's what this query means. We press enter, and this is what happens. You can see we got 5 results. They're sorted by B to E. The first one, apple pie, was skipped, and we are only showing the title and the description. We'll take a look at more advanced queries in future videos. Thank you.